Live from the campus of Darien High School, this is Varsity Boys Soccer on the DAF Media Network. Hello everyone, thanks for joining us. My name's Ted Brennan. Alongside me is Jonathan Gill today, and we have a great matchup on our hands. Two crosstown rivals in Darien and New Canaan. Darien starts the season 1-0, beating New Canaan on Thursday, and New Canaan is 0-1. We're almost underway here as New Canaan looks to start with the ball. Darien on your screen is in the blue and black. They will be heading from left to right, and New Canaan in that red and white. They will be heading from right to left for the first half. And we are underway here on a Monday afternoon. New Canaan progressing that ball forward over midfield now. Moving the ball nicely. Stolen. And a good save there by the New Canaan goalie.
Oh, very good cutout in the midfield there. Very nice to be here, by the way, Ted. I just want to say it's been 7 years since I played my last game against New Canaan under John Bradley. I don't think much will change. I heard the last result was 1-0, as you said. Good pickup there. And that's about the scoreline I'd expect. This game is always scrappy. The players know each other. They really want to beat each other. It becomes a big defensive battle, and especially under a John Bradley coach team. The name of the game with this coach, as has been for so long, is defensive organization. You saw a great cutout in midfield earlier from Darien. You see it right there again. Their back line in the midfield is going to be absolutely in shape the entire time. And the 1-0 scoreline doesn't surprise me, but I talked to John before the game. I actually didn't know the score the last game, and he I asked which team was the the better side, and he said we'll see on the day. So that's John Bradley's attitude right there. Never takes anything for granted, and certainly, you know, his team will be giving 100% today.
Thank you for that, Jonathan. So each team has already played one match. Darien, of course, winning their first one against New Canaan. So this is the second match that they will be playing each other. And it will actually be the final match that they will play against each other this season. So it's a little early to see them play New Canaan so early in this young season, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, each team will only have 10 matches, as Darien will get an early opportunity at a corner kick. Defended nicely by New Canaan there.
Oh, good tracking back from John Bradley's team. Certainly what you're going to see a lot of is Bradley's team trying to score on set pieces. They take advantage of that as much as possible, practice it quite a bit. But when they're broken against, like they were just then, when they give it away off the set piece, they need to reorganize defensively very quickly, which they did there quite well.
I was able to speak with one of the captains, Ethan Fox. One of the things that he mentioned to me the other day was that one of the things they did well in their first game was play well defensively, and they're looking to lock down defensively again in this match here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the John Bradley ethos. I mean, the best games we won in high school were always scores 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. This is a coach that he knows how to win high school soccer, and a big part of that is defensive organization, as I said, getting the goals off set pieces. But they're in the mindset of definitely giving their all at the back, and I think we're going to see that today. Certainly a remark I would expect from a Darien captain. Even a decade later, nothing's changed. John still has them in shape.
John Bradley, of course, being with this program for many years, actually coached the girls team here at DHS for 4 years, in 2006 to 2010. Was named the 2008 FCI Coach of the Year for the girls, and then in 2011, he was named the FCI Coach for the boys, as Darien just pushes it too far. And a good kick out there by the goalie, but Achman is right there for Darien.
Yeah, certainly was deserved in 2011. That, I think, my junior season, and I remember we had just changed coaches. We didn't know what to expect. I think the year before, in 2010, we'd come off a 3-10 season or something of the like, and we shot up to the FCIAC semifinals, the finals, I believe, that season. And it was, relatively the same pool of players that we had before, but there's a certain amount of organization, diligence John takes, and just a winning mentality. And so, year to year, I've, played for them, but also I've commentated a couple games over the last, 5 years or so. And, the faces change, but the team stays the same in a lot of ways. And so it's not surprising here they beat New Canaan once, and wouldn't be surprised if they do it again. It looks really good so far, definitely. New Canaan has a decent chunk of the ball, but I'm not seeing a lot of breaking the Darien back four. And Darien's certainly a team that will be able to hit you at any time. With that single punch that will end the game.
That's Chase Caruso with the ball, the junior for Darien, trying to get something started. And that one is just past the goal line.
That's really well done by Caruso there, and we've seen the second time he's done that. And it's really, really important to have someone up top with that kind of pace who kind of lock the back four. He certainly looks like he's playing a bit isolated up there. So I think he's going to be expected to just make those runs in behind, get the goals, but also winning corners, not a bad outcome. This is exactly where Bradley and his team want it.
So another early corner kick for Darien. The last time New Canaan defended very well on their corner kick. Let's see if Darien can get something going with this corner. Good punch out there by the goalie. That's Alex Walter.
Yeah, good clearance by New Canaan, but you saw the space in the box for the attacker there. Darien certainly with good set piece deliveries and a decent amount of space there to get a shot off, so looking dangerous from that position specifically. And New Canaan trying to get hold of the ball, but need to do a bit better, play it out of the back. I haven't seen much from them going from defense to midfield. This is the link-up play that they need right here, though. Good switching of the field. Really well done. They should be able to cut out.
Good play there by Achman to get cut out there. as New Canaan's back in their own zone trying to reset. New Canaan with the throw in, Ackman a good header. That one just skirts out of bounds.
Names next to the numbers. You know all their names by heart.
I know most of them, yeah. That's number 16 for New Canaan. That's Henry Lindbergh, senior captain, but it's kicked out by Danny Lau for Darien. Russo's got it again. Pushes it forward, and it's in! That's Billy Bronca, his second goal of the year.
Well, it's an excellent goal. Pure tenacity from Caruso to pick that ball up. And to spot Billy Bronca there is not easy. And then Bronca, in turn, shoves his way through 2 defenders, is able to lift it over the goalkeeper. I mean, as I said at the beginning of the game, it was going to be scrappy. I mean, that is a goal with 2 strikers against 5 defenders pushing their way through to goal. No surprise he scored last game, though, given that just happened. Excellent start. And as I said, you'll expect to see it locked down. New Canaan are going to have a difficult time getting a goal today.
So in 2 games against New Canaan, Billy Bronca has 2 goals. The last one he scored was, of course, the game winner. And we'll see how New Canaan responds after an early goal. Little under 10 minutes into the game. Ball rolls out of bounds, and New Canaan will get a throw in. In talking with Ethan Fox and another senior captain, Danny Lau, they both mentioned that one of the keys to their game today was score early, get it rolling early, and then lock it down from there.
Well, they've certainly done well on that front. I mean, you know, Darien's definitely the kind of team that holds a 1-0 lead much better than others in the FCAC. It's really John Bradley's specialty. Getting that early goal is so important for the momentum. But also, I think that it just lifts the spirits of the players. When you see your 2 strikers playing with such tenacity and physicality, they created that goal out of absolutely nothing, got the ball, piled their way through. And I think it gives Darien not just the upper hand on the scoreline, but mentally to get that kind of goal.
Tommy Bronca will take the goal kick for Darien. He's got a good leg as he gets it down the field.
And that's well won again by Billy Bronca.
And it looks like a handball there by Caruso. He was looking to score again, just got a piece of it with his hand.
A great win there in the middle by Billy Bronca, though. And you look at the Darien front two, Caruso and Bronca, and the midfield, they're pushing up. They're not letting New Canaan play out of the back. As you watch there, New Canaan's forced to make a clearance. It just seems like the kind of game. Both teams are having a bit of difficulty getting possession, slowing it down, but the difference is that Darien seems to have that that physicality, that pace up front, and that general organization to not concede a goal, whereas New Canaan let in one early right now. But I'm curious to see, Ted. I'm curious to see which team is able to kind of slow down, pass the ball around a bit more, because I haven't seen it from either team yet. But as it is right now, I think Darien kind of wants the game to be this way.
It's interesting to see that Darien is very physical considering the COVID-19 guidelines, as for a while they were unable to scrimmage against each other.
That's not, I don't know much. I was trying to get some information before the match, but I would love some explanation of what they were and weren't allowed to do.
So mainly they were allowed to practice in somewhat of called cohorts, where where it would be very limited, like a limited amount of players in one sort of group. And for a very long time, they were only able to do that. And they had to practice with some masks here and there.
Wow.
But over time, the masks came off, the cohorts got bigger, and they were able to scrimmage once or twice themselves, and then against, I believe it was Greenwich, before their first match against New Canaan.
Well, that's such a testament to the players, Ted, and to the coach, that they're able to show up in tip-top form, you know, not just soccer-wise, but also physically, gelling as a team, in spite of all that. I mean, you know, I remember we had very extensive preseasons. I remember the first games we were always a bit rusty. That 2011 season, I believe we lost the first game 7-1 against Wesley. Yeah, it hurt a lot, but that's usually the way it is at the start of the season. So to see them playing this well and this organized, in spite of all that, you know, in spite of those rules, is pretty remarkable.
That was Darien's third corner early, and we're not even halfway through the first half, and they've already had 3 to New Canaan's 0.
Yeah, and it certainly looks like New Canaan's going to need those set pieces to get goals because they're not getting them from open play, but Darien also has the height advantage, so we're certainly going to have to see New Canaan either change their strategy, turn a different gear on, because it just doesn't look like they're close to sniffing the net at this point.
This is an older New Canaan Rams team, only one underclassman rostered, as Darien has more than a few on there.
Certainly didn't look like it to my eye from what I was seeing. I mean, Darien really bullying right now. And those balls you just saw, the one to Billy Bronco, they're going to be bothering New Canaan all day, just slotting it in behind the back four, and Bronco and Caruso chasing after it. Absolute nightmare for those defenders right now.
New Canaan moving up that right sideline. That's number 8, I believe. It's Michael Norton, as Darien's able to clear it.
Those are the kind of runs they need. You saw them trying to swing the ball out that way to the left side earlier to get those crosses in. They weren't able to, but that's a great run there by Norton. Only earns the throw-in, but that is exactly what New Canaan need up the wing, because it doesn't seem to be working through the middle, and to put those crosses in and cause some issues in the Darien box.
Shot inside, just wide.
Now, encouraging signs from New Canaan off the long throw-in. And, you know, long throw-in, not an easy thing to do, but executed it pretty well there, and it just goes to show those set plays, you know, when you get them corner kicks, free kicks, long throw-ins, and any crosses you can make, they're going to cause some issues for Darien. So, I'd say first good look for New Canaan of the game.
It's been one of the few times that they've been able to get deep into the Darien zone so far. Darien definitely executing on the defensive side of the ball. There's a good save there by Ackman. Eventually called out. That's number 15, Ashton Healy, with the throw-in. And New Canaan retreats back into its own zone.
There's a fantastic cutout, though, in the midfield right there. And you see Darien, excellent shape. And I note, too, on that throw-in that Billy Bronca, the striker, dropped back to defend as well. Darien knows they have to swarm the middle. And New Canaan really doesn't look like they have space there. They're going to have to make these exact sort of runs out onto the wings. And they do earn what looks like a free kick.
Number 13 for the Rams, Nick Lambrinos, will be taking it here. Good defense there. That's number 5, Trevor Pegg.
Yeah, it was a great clearance to hold their line, and I'd say a relatively poor service as well. I mean, certainly you're not going to get those opportunities very often, as I said. And that slotted through to Bronca, and he looks to be onside as well.
Gives it to Caruso. Not enough juice, and a good defensive play there by New Canaan.
Oh, excellent break from Darien. Fantastic through ball. And New Canaan on the set piece, the delivery wasn't good enough. And I think they're going to need to step that part up. We've seen Darien have both great deliveries off the corner kicks and also great through balls to Caruso and Bronca, which is causing the issues that New Canaan can't make on the other end.
Good stop there by Walter, the goalkeeper. And New Canaan will look to run. That's number 7. Number 7 was Evan Belis. And just too far for the senior captain, Henry Lindbergh. Good clearance there by Fox, number 10 for the Wave. Caruso has it now. Looks inside for Achman. Just too far.
Well, another excellent through ball, and I think that Achman's been fantastic both defensively and up the wing, hustling up and down. And certainly speaking of hustle, the 2 central midfielders, Bobby Whitaker and Jonathan Peaty, doing absolutely brilliantly to cut out balls when New Canaan have it. And fantastic delivery once again. And that was nearly a handball.
New Canaan avoids danger once again.
And again, fantastic hustling there from Whitaker. That is exactly what you need. New Canaan have their opportunity on the break, and it's snuffed out by a tenacious central midfielder. It's exactly what John Bradley wants.
And Petey's been doing a great job of getting that ball in. He's been taking all their corners today.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I said, the service is absolutely key, and he looks like he's got it completely nailed. Been practicing it a bit in the offseason, you can tell.
New Canaan had an opportunity. Healy just unable to get his foot on it.
An excellent defending there from Achman, and he has been up and down that wing. That is exactly what you want out of a fullback. And you see once again Billy Bronca back defending despite playing striker. I'll be completely honest, Ted, I'm not sure how New Canaan's going to get a goal. They're going to have a bit of a chat at halftime, and they have to surprise all of us at this point.
And New Canaan ball there as Bronca was fighting for it. We got a nice little close-up view of how physical Bronca's being. Lau was able to get that out of there.
That's brilliant pressing from both the central midfielders and from Caruso.
Bronca again!
Oh.
And Walter gets hit. We're going to take a short little break to see if he's okay. We'll be back in a moment. We are back here. It looks like Walter is up after being a little shaken up, taking a cleat to the upper body. Glad to see that he's back on his feet. New Canaan is looking to push. And a goal, and they respond. That's number 16, the captain, Henry Lindberg.
Well, an absolutely fantastic strike. I mean, fizzled into the top corner from 20 yards out. There's not much you can do there. I would say the one thing is that Darien gave him a bit too much space on that right side, but takes a lot of audacity to cut in and shoot instead of going to the corner and trying to cross. And New Canaan didn't have many men up there, not many numbers, but they made a goal out of nothing. I'll tell you what, it's the way soccer works, is that when you're down and your team's not playing as well as they should, sometimes you need an individual moment of magic, and that's exactly what they got there.
Chase Caruso trying to respond just outside the left post. And New Canaan, Jonathan, they made you eat your words a little bit by saying you don't know how they were going to get a goal, and Lindbergh just puts it top corner.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it is just the way the game goes sometimes. One player can turn it on a dime. But Ted, what I'm really curious to see is if New Canaan can now respond more generally, if they can play better as a team, get more numbers forward, and take the upper hand. Especially with Billy Bronca off the pitch, I believe got a yellow card. Big loss for Darien temporarily.
Number 33, James Kennedy, the sophomore, will check in, or has checked in for Bronca, who's on the sidelines right now. And losing your leading goal scorer definitely hurts, even if it is for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not just been a goal scorer today. He's been putting a lot of work on the defensive end. He puts a lot of pressure on those New Canaan center halves. So certainly we're going to have to see Darien change things up a bit here if they're going to play at the same level without him. And they also need to get their defensive organization back a little. A bit too much space on that goal allowed by New Canaan. I know it looks good going in from 20 yards, but he had acres of space and time to shoot it from.
A little bit of a lapse in that, in their defense, their lockdown defense that they've been having all game so far. So Darien will look to fix that over these next couple of 10 minutes or so, or 16 minutes, excuse me.
Well, I'm very curious. Never watched this team before myself, Ted, but I think the mark of a team that's going to go far in any competition or do well in any league is how they respond when things don't go their way. I think they were all probably expecting a nice 1-0 win once again, and they're not getting it. It's their first big test of the season, I believe it is.
And it'll be a Darien free kick. And just out of Healy's reach there. New Canaan will need more of those kind of run-out plays if they want to score again. As Kennedy heads it forward. And a little miscommunication there from Petey and Whitaker. Petey just put it behind him.
Well, very good sign right there, though. You lose the ball, it's frustrating, but great hustle to get it back.
And that ball will roll out of the goal line.
Well, you saw Petey there stand in front of the free kick as well. He will not give them an inch. Absolute engine, as we call it, does not stop running, does not stop hustling, even when he loses the ball, even when the chips are down. Definitely some good signs in that front.
Number 13, Thomas Cleary, has checked in for Whitaker, I believe, as he will take a bit of a break. I think that ball went out of bounds, and Cleary was trying to make his case that it stayed in. I'm going to give a quick shout out to our production crew today. Eric Bellingham on our main camera, George Martin on our ISO camera, Braden Shank directing, Nolan Burke on our instant replay, Matt Burke on graphics, Damian Andrew overseeing this entire operation. And once again, DAF Media is a joint venture between the Darien Foundation and the Darien Athletic Foundation.
And quite the production you guys have now, Ted, these days. I mean, when we were playing 7 years ago, certainly not a camera in sight. And I remember, I think, when this just got started a few years ago, and we were on the first few games, I think only one single camera, Damien on the mic. It seems to have really expanded into something fantastic.
New Canaan will get that ball out of there. Yeah, Jonathan, as you mentioned, we have grown quite a bit. We've expanded from a 1 camera to a 2 camera and a great new directing system to bring this content to you almost every day during in season, as Darien almost had it, but New Canaan and Walter will push that ball out of there.
Yeah, and that's what I'm curious to see from Darien when Bronca and Caruso are off the pitch, because they like those balls over the top, but those balls need fast, powerful, physical forwards, and certainly Bronca and Caruso towering over everyone else in the field. As you see Caruso shifted to the midfield now.
It's a good little slide tackle there by Petey, who was able to get that ball. Senior Captain Fox will look to boot it downfield. Right to James Kennedy. That's number 7, Evan Bayless, with the ball there for New Canaan. And just over the top crossbar.
No, good control in the midfield there by Bales. Definitely want to see more of that. He looks like a skillful, composed player. And this game, I mean, I thought it was Darien's, but as you said, Ted, that 20-yard shot made me eat my words. And right now, definitely up for the taking. Both teams haven't had a lot to say in the last 10 minutes. That maybe could change, though.
Matthew Kennedy is on the field for Darien, playing with his brother James. And Ryan Roderick has also checked in as Cleary right to Walter.
Well, not the end product he wanted, but great physicality by Cleary. And again, that's how Darien are going to get these goals. Ball's bouncing around in the box, and it's a question really of who wants it more.
As I was saying, James and Matthew Kennedy are playing on the same field as brothers, and Ryan Roderick and Robbie Roderick are on the same field, so it's a family affair here for Darien. And just a nice little save there by Tommy Bronca. Looked like New Canaan was trying to cross it over, just couldn't get anything doing because Matthew Kennedy was right on him. Bennett Dumas on that right side. Crosses it in. And just a little far. But that's number 32, Ryan Roderick. No good, no good. And a good save there by Walter. Good possession there by Darien, but just better defense by Walter, able to save that goal. And then just went over the net there from Roderick.
Well, certainly an excellent first effort. Great save by Walter. Applause all around deserved. And I thought as well what was really good about that play was the cross from Dumas. Darien definitely need more of that. They spread the ball out wide there, and they put it into the trouble area. If they keep doing that, I would expect a goal to come soon.
Darien able to clear it away. Now Cleary's going to take it up that left side. Caruso blocked. Out of bounds there from Darien.
One thing I'd definitely like to see more from Darien is getting those fullbacks and those wing midfielders more involved. Very well played there by Cleary to hold it up, swing it back to Caruso, but then no one was open there on that right-hand side. They need someone on both sides to get out wide, get up and down the touchline, and deliver those crosses if they're going to score goals.
So it looks like Bronca has checked back in for the Wave. He's on that left side now instead of that right side that he was before, and we'll see if he can provide a spark for Darien, who hasn't had much of a spark without him. Walter, nice little clear out there. That's James Kennedy looking for a cross, but he gets it to Caruso instead. James again to the cross, and just out of the reach of Billy Bronca, trying to get it to that leading goal scorer.
Well, you can't ask for much more as a striker than that cross from Kennedy. Straight across the mouth of goal. Nothing that the goalkeeper, Walter, can do about it. Just need someone to tap it in. But that is exactly the build-up that Darien have been looking for.
Oh, Caruso goes airborne. And he's a little slow to get up.
Well, you were saying, Ted, that this is a younger team, and I see that Caruso is a junior. I mean, pretty fascinating to see him playing both the midfield at striker with a lot of hustle, a lot of heart, causing a lot of issues for New Canaan. And this looks like a Darien team, in my opinion, that's mature beyond its years. Certainly, I know you mentioned the leadership of the senior captains a few times throughout the broadcast, but overall, this team plays like a group of seniors, I have to say, first time watching. Very impressive on that front.
So Petit checks in for the injured Caruso. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, as Fox will boot that down the field. And Dumas able to get it out of bounds away from number 9, Tommy Kurz. And a nice attempt there, just a little too far by number 10, Doyle Catlin, senior captain as well.
Well, definitely a bit of a scare moment for Darien there. I can't allow anyone in a red shirt with that much space in the box near the ball. And certainly as we're approaching halftime, Ted, I'm curious to see what changes both coaches make, but something I'd like to see more personally from Darien is a bit more width. I think we've seen their best opportunities come from crosses. We saw Achman doing great to get up and down the line. Dumas had a great cross earlier. But Darien right now, I don't think enough width to generate those sorts of services that they need for Bronca, for Caruso, for all their physical forwards up front. So if they're going to get back in the habit of scoring goals, I think they're going to need to change that, but I am curious to see what Bradley does.
We saw some of their best opportunities come off of set plays on the corners. They had about 4 before New Canaan had 1, and I actually don't even think they've had 1 so far, but ever since that 10-minute mark, we haven't seen a Darien corner, as New Canaan will line up to take a kick here.
Yeah, fantastic opportunity right now.
It's number 7, Evan Bayless. New Canaan will look to take a 2-1 lead if they can get a shot on net late in this first half with about 3:30 remaining. The score is 1-1. And just a great all-around game so far. Off the post.
Wow.
And that's about as close as you can get.
Absolutely. I mean, number 1, I'm not sure I expected him to even go for goal right there. Looked like more of a crossing opportunity to me, but what an audacious effort by Bayless, and fantastically struck. Great technique. Now, I'll tell you, nothing is more frustrating as a coach than losing to those moments of individual brilliance. We saw one from New Canaan earlier, and we were just 6 inches away from another right there.
That was a great replay brought to you by our team of Braden Shank, Nolan Burke, and Matt Burke, bringing you that angle of that shot. And Bronca was running for it, doesn't get it. That's some good defense there by number 28, Tom Bausman.
That's really well played there by Bayless. That's exactly what New Canaan need. They need composure in the middle to get it out, spread the ball. Bayless definitely the anchor for that New Canaan midfield. A lot of composure, great passing, and of course he's got quite a right foot on him, as we saw there in that replay.
So with about 2 minutes remaining here in this first half, each team looking to get some sort of momentum back on their side, as we've been stuck at 1-1 for a while now. Kennedy able to get that ball down the field. Nothing doing. A nice save there on that left side, or on that right sideline. New Canaan, that's number 15. Just outside the right post. Ashton Healy. As we take a look here, it was a great feed. Healy just outside that right post.
That was a chance he crafted all by himself. It was a great through ball, eventually cut out by the defender, but Healy was able to pick it up again, and I thought the finish was excellent as well. I'll say New Canaan, for all that I said earlier, their finishing has been very, very good. A lot of close chances, a lot of composure in front of net, certainly causing some issues for Bronca between the sticks there.
Darien just a little too far on their push forward.
That's good composure there.
Darien, that's Dumas right there. 10 seconds left. Petit tried to put it on net. Good stoppage there by New Canaan. And it looks like that will do it for the first half. A 1-1 tie here at the Darien campus. And Jonathan, talk to me a little bit about what you're seeing from both sides and maybe anything that you'd like to see them improve upon.
Yeah, so I think I've seen Darien play very well defensively as I expected, and then also in their defense through the midfield and the forwards. Great pressing by Whitaker, great pressing by Bronco and Caruso, and they've done very well with the physical 1v1s, especially in New Canaan's third of the pitch. But what that means is that Darien's going to need to send in more crosses, get that ball in the box more often than they have, and they started sending it less and less after New Canaan scored. So Darien certainly need to spread the pitch, get the service, and get the set pieces in. And on New Canaan's end, I think they could do a little bit better to calm down, keep the ball, and especially play through Bayless, who looks like a real danger man. And I'd say, one of the few people on the pitch right now that has the composure, the ability to play the ball on the ground to New Canaan's forwards. So certainly it's going to be an interesting team talk from John Bradley, but we would like to see Darien have that upper hand mentally and physically that they had before New Canaan equalized.
Thank you for that, Jonathan. We're going to take a quick halftime break. We'll be back on the DAF Media Network in a moment.
I'm proud of the work the Darien Foundation has done over the past 20 years. If you live here, our work has likely impacted you, your family, and your neighbors. Since our founding in 1998, we've provided more than $4.2 million in grants, which create opportunity for Darien's youth, support our town's safety and security services, and enhance the overall quality of life in Darien through collaboration with community organizations.
As a family that's relatively new to town and planning to make this our long-term home, I'm grateful to see my community and my family benefit from the Darien Foundation. When I learned that the edible gardens at the elementary schools, the generator at the Darien Library, and the playground by the Sound were all funded by the same organization, I raised my hand to get involved. I'm proud to support an organization whose impact I see every day in our schools and throughout our community.
So far this year, the Darien Foundation has awarded $138,000 in grants to enhance our community. In 2013, the Darien Community Association opened a 4-acre bird sanctuary thanks to a grant from the Darien Foundation. The serene wooded glade has attracted numerous birds, bees, and butterflies, as well as more than 200 school children and other visitors. This year, they added a new pondless waterfall, as well as more trees, plantings, signage, and benches. In 1976, the Darien Historical Society and Darien High School students built the Middlesex, an authentic replica of the 18th century whaleboats.
Celebrating and supporting Darien athletes. That is a simple mission of the Darien Athletic Foundation. Broadcasting live from the field, DAF Media covers 125 games a year. All Darien teams, our youth, in our town, on our fields. Fields like the Center Oval and Upper Oval turfs, the JV softball field, and Stadium East, the longest turf in New England, all made possible by the Darien Athletic Foundation and its generous founders and donors. The Darien Athletic Foundation is not just committed to building our town's athletic infrastructure, it's improving the civic infrastructure for everyone to enjoy. The multimedia scoreboard, the snack bar pavilion, and the stadium lights, a $750,000 investment that makes Darien High School just the second school in Connecticut with LED lights. The Darien Athletic Foundation board is made up of local parents who know just how quickly it goes by. Its archives of more than 60,000 photos capture those precious moments of our young athletes as they strive to be their very best. The Darien Athletic Foundation has raised almost $9.5 million for our town and its kids, and it's not stopping there. as it continues to build a legacy for our youth as bright as their future, both on and off the field. Celebrating and supporting Darien athletes. That is a simple mission of the Darien.
I'm proud of the work the Darien Foundation has done over the past 20 years. If you live here, our work has likely impacted you, your family, and your neighbors. Since our founding in 1998, we've provided more than $4.2 million in grants, which create opportunity for Darien's youth, support our town's safety and security services, and enhance the overall quality of life in Darien through collaboration with community organizations.
As a family that's relatively new to town and planning to make this our long-term home, I'm grateful to see my community and my family benefit from the Darien Foundation. When I learned that the edible gardens at the elementary schools, the generator at the Darien Library, and the playground by the Sound were all funded by the same organization, I raised my hand to get involved. I'm proud to support an organization whose impact I see every day in our schools and throughout our community.
So far this year, the Darien Foundation has awarded $138,000 in grants to enhance our community. In 2013, the Darien Community Association opened a 4-acre bird sanctuary thanks to a grant from the Darien Foundation. The serene wooded glade
back here on the DAF Media Network as we're taking a look here at the 2 goals that were scored, one by Darien. That one was scored by number 1, Billy Bronca. And this one was scored from New Canaan. That's number 16, Henry Lindbergh.
Yeah, and 2 very, very different goals that I think are pretty indicative of the game. New Canaan's needed a bit of individual work, an absolute masterclass of a shot, but they didn't look like scoring any other way. But Darien's, it was Billy Bronca's pace and physicality that unlocked that defense, and I think Darien's going to need more of that from Bronca, from Caruso, from the pressing in the midfield from Whitaker. If Darien's going to get a second goal, I'd expect it to be something similar to the one that Bronca scored in the first half.
Jonathan, talk to me a little bit about the rivalry between these 2 teams when you played and how it compares to today.
Well, I'd say that, you know, we were lucky enough, I guess, to have a bit more practice and maybe a bit more fans around. It's unfortunate that, these kids have to play, during these kind of times. But I would say the things that probably stay the same is that this is the number 1 team that you want to beat, when you see the schedule at the beginning of the season. And also that, just because of how close the towns are, you grew up playing against New Canaan. The kids probably know each other pretty well, and so I think that hasn't changed. I will say one thing that has changed a little bit is that New Canaan, I remember when we played them, had a lot of very, very strong kids that were Division I bound, extremely good players, and one in particular, their goalkeeper ended up becoming a professional soccer player by the name of Scott Levine. So it was, I guess, a bit different in terms of the type of players you're playing. I think you'd see a bit more passing on the ground. I'd say a bit less physicality. This game, I would say, is a lot more scrappy. But to be honest, I think that's exactly what you want out of a rivalry game. You want to see both teams really just giving it their all.
Darien made a goalkeeper switch. They're putting in number 1, junior Will Lehan.
That's something you don't see a lot, I have to say. Was there an injury, or is that something that happens often?
I believe, in talking with some of the captains, Lehan was injured last game, and he's their normal starting goalkeeper. And I think they're just putting him in, getting some reps in for Bronca earlier, and waiting till Lehan, making sure that Lehan is ready to go 100%.
Makes sense, and certainly nothing Bronca could have done better in that first half. I think that goal was unstoppable for virtually any goalkeeper. But certainly it's an unusual situation, I'd say, for a goalkeeper to come in cold, come in the second half. So we will see how that goes. And you see Darien right here playing right through the middle to Billy Bronca. This is exactly what they want. But in the halftime talk, I'm assuming John told them get that ball in the box, and part of getting that ball in the box is making sure they spread it wide.
You just mentioned it briefly, but if you were in this situation, what do you think Coach Bradley, besides, what you just mentioned, is there anything else that Coach Bradley would say to you guys if you were in this situation?
Yeah, I think it would be keep the press up as well. I mean, they certainly know they're going to get the opportunities through those balls in the box, but they're going to come, mostly from crosses that come on the break. And how you get on the break is you take the ball from New Canaan. And what they were doing really well, especially in the first 20 minutes of the first half, was they were pressing through the midfield. Whitaker and Petey especially doing well. Bronca and Caruso doing well, pressing the defenders. New Canaan have a bit of quality in the midfield, but I don't think they're the type of team that's able to pass it around Darien. So if they just keep running, Darien should be able to get the ball back in good positions. And that's that's also just John Bradley's coaching style. When in doubt, I think the answer is to give more effort.
One of the things that Captain Danny Lau mentioned in talking with him is that in that first game they had a lot of good chances on offense, a lot of good scoring opportunities, and this game nothing has changed. Still a lot of good scoring opportunities, just unable to convert.
Yeah, definitely. It's good that Darien had halftime, because I really would like to see their mentality change. I think that brilliant individual goals happen. It wasn't an equalizer they expected, but it can't take the wind out of your sails. Can't change your overall game plan. And right now, this is brilliant effort by Bronca. and unorthodox goalkeeping right there.
Walter went all the way out there to stop Bronca, and he's lucky he got there, because that could have been.
Oh, absolutely. But that's the kind of havoc that Bronca is causing up front. Need to see more of that.
As we just saw that replay, Walter getting over there to Bronca just in time. As that one is headed right towards Walter. Some nice back and forth punting between the teams.
Well, Darien's definitely going to want the game to be that way, though. You saw Darien recoup the ball very easily when New Canaan cleared it upfield. But when it came back the other way, it always just looks like a bit of an issue for the New Canaan back line when they're facing Caruso and Bronca running at them when that ball's bouncing high and far. So I think Darien are going to want to have a lot of big clearances, big distributions. That's excellent distribution right there.
Right to Bronca. Good play there by Petey to stick his leg out there.
Yeah. But definitely fantastic play there from Norton of New Canaan. I mean, he had to dribble out of the back. I think that it's a bit of a sign, though. New Canaan need to find a way to pass that ball out of the back. You see Norton having to do it all individually there. And when Darien trap you in your own third, like they've done at the beginning of this half, not easy to get it out if you don't have the clearances. Right now, I think Darien's starting off definitely on the right foot.
One of the interesting things about this game regarding the COVID-19 pandemic is that Darien has actually allowed fans on their campus, of course masked and hopefully social distanced. But it's nice for these young men to have some sort of energy behind them besides just their teammates, as New Canaan gets it in. Just a little too much English on it. That was number 10, Doyle Catlin. As we take a look here, nice little cross and just off of his left foot. A little too much English.
Well, Catlin's going to regret that one. You don't get many chances like that in a soccer game. Really needs to do better to put that at least on target and test the goalkeeper. And yes, certainly, Ted, it's fantastic to see the fans here. I mean, if ever there's a game worthy of it, it's this. And when I showed up, I actually didn't know if it was allowed or not. So, very relieved, I would say, for all 22 players out there that they get to have friends, family watching. Certainly a game worthy of the occasion.
Certain teams and schools in the CIAC and the FCAC are allowing fans. Some won't, or some don't have fans, some do. Some have fans at home games but not away games. It really all depends on the school and how comfortable they feel. But it's great to see that Darien is allowing fans to be at this game from both home and away. Lau with a nice toss. Petey got it right to Bronca. And Walter will have that easily.
Well, it's excellent play up the line there, and as I said, they want to get it up the line, play it out wide, but the second part of that is that they want to get services in the box, and I think that Darien didn't have enough numbers in the box to support Bronca there, no one to cross it to. They've got to know, those chances are few and far between where you get all the way up the touchline and you need bodies in the box to be on the other end of that cross.
Good hustle there from Captain Bennett Dumas. Got a first header, fell down. New Canaan tried to move it quickly, but Dumas was right there to head it out of bounds for a New Canaan throw-in. Bronca, too much on it.
Oh, you see the opportunities coming, though. Twice in a row, Bronca's had plenty of space in the New Canaan third. That is exactly what John Bradley wants to see.
That was Matthew Kennedy on that far sideline. Bronca right to Walter. Good effort there by Darien to get it in. Bronca just unable to get it anywhere but Walter.
That's exactly what they wanted. I really like what I'm seeing from Darien in the first 10 minutes of this half. If they keep creating chances like that, in the next half hour, they will score a goal. But New Canaan allowing them too much space in behind their back four, out wide. And you see this press, this hustle right here from Darien, from Billy Bronca.
Bronca almost had that one, which would have compromised New Canaan because it was a one-on-one situation, but Walter was able to get it out there. And Walter has come out really, really far on some of these plays.
Oh, absolutely. I think Darien's doing so well getting in behind, and I think that it's really important for New Canaan to have a keeper who's playing as a bit of a sweeper to get these clearances, because Darien's just going to put it right behind you. But Walter's doing excellently to anticipate everything that's coming his way.
Oh, Bobby Whitaker just soared that over the protective netting here.
Well, it would have made for a nice field goal, certainly. But excellent chance there at the top of the box. I think, again, Darien just keeps getting that space. And, New Canaan really need to respond with a bit more defensive organization. But you look at it, and Darien's getting these 3v3, 2v2 counterattacks. Walter can't stave this off the entire game.
Some nice header action going between the two teams, as Fox just misplays that one, but luckily Dumas is right there to get it out. Peg puts it up. That's Whitaker, and Whitaker with the goal. Number 18, Bobby Whitaker, the sophomore. As we take a look here, beautiful play there, just past Walter on the feed.
Oh, it's brilliant composure on the finish there. Not much you can do if you're Walter specifically, but New Canaan, their defense, we were saying that they had a lot of gaps, looked like Darien was going to create a lot of chances, and the goal would come. And boy, did it come. But the composure on that finish, highly underrated. It is not an easy thing to do with a sprawling goalkeeper, to just dink it by him. Absolutely excellent finish there by Whitaker.
That was a great feed there from Trevor Pegg, another sophomore on this Darien roster. Found an open hole to get it to Whitaker, and Whitaker able to finish it off. So Darien takes a 2-goal lead early in this first half, hoping that history doesn't repeat itself and they can hold on to this goal.
Wow, certainly they can't recreate the mistakes they made in the first half, and specifically they need to keep this press up. It seems like New Canaan's getting a bit tired. Their back line is leaking a little bit. They're allowing too much space in for all the Darien players behind. But there are a couple players on New Canaan, when they have the ball, can produce moments of individual magic. That was a bit too ambitious there. But Darien need to keep that press up, because they can't let New Canaan get the ball on the ground, pass it around, have space. And defense on John Bradley's mind right now.
For those of you just joining us, I'm Ted Brennan. Alongside me today is Jonathan Gill. Jonathan, thank you so much for helping us out today with this broadcast.
Oh, it's always my pleasure. And excellently produced. And as I said earlier in the first half, for those just tuning in, it's just quite an honor, I think, as a former student of Darien and as a former soccer player, to see the quality of production that's going on right now at DAF Media. Certainly the fans deserve it. Parents, friends, and of course the players deserve it. And we're getting a game to match the production right now, 2-1, and the excitement just feels like it's getting started.
DAF Media, of course, is a joint venture between the Darien Athletic Foundation and the Darien Foundation. And on the topic of shout-outs, we're going to shout out Aiden Maniscalco and Charlie Sears, former DAF Media members and former DHS soccer players here, both watching the broadcast today. So Lehan will take free kick here. Able to get it down that field. And a little chippy between Lambrinos and Petty.
Well, goes across a few Darien soccer generations as well. A couple shout-outs. I've gotten some texts. We've got former DHS captains Lewis Clark and Eric Canyon watching the broadcast. Our mutual friend Jay Alter, who is a professional sports commentator, as you would have it. And as well a few other people watching the broadcast, hoping our friend Brennan Bronk is tuning in, the cousin of Billy, I believe. And Brennan played soccer at Columbia, was the captain of Darien High School as well. A lot of people from quite a long time ago tuned in to watch Darien beat New Canaan, as they should. Never feels... or never doesn't get any better.
And Fox will get that ball out of danger, as Caruso wasn't able to get anything going on that free kick there. And once again, another shout out to our production crew: Eric Bellingham on our main camera, George Martin on our ISO, Braden Shank directing, Nolan Burke instant replay, Matt Burke graphics, and Damien Andrew, our advisor. So it looks like Norton will have a throw in here. Canaan moving the ball around nicely here. And Lau able to push that out of there. And Whitaker able to steal the ball away from Norton. Gets it to, or tried to get it to Bronca, just a little too far, and Walter able to push that out of there.
Walter needed to do a bit more work than is usually required for a goalkeeper, because that ball keeps getting behind the New Canaan back line. And I really love to see this from John Bradley's team. I think that this is the type of game they can really grab by the scruff of the neck and try and get a third goal and close it out. Don't need to sit back. They really do have the upper hand. And I think the key is really where the ball is. If it's in New Canaan's third, not much New Canaan can do. They're not playing it out of the back well enough today. And a lot of great pressing from Darien's forwards and midfielders to keep it in the New Canaan half. If it continues this way, wouldn't be surprised to see a third.
And a good save there by Walter on the PD attempt.
Exactly as I was saying, Ted. I mean, you saw Walter roll it out there, and New Canaan, expressing their desire, I guess, to pass it out of the back. But right now, it's not coming together for them. And the other difficulty is that, when they boot it forward, is that Darien's center halves, holding their line so well. And so, New Canaan getting the ball forward, it's a question that's being asked to them, and right now they don't have an answer.
Tried the cross. Inside, just good defense there.
Excellent idea from Whitaker, though, to square it across the box.
A good punch out there, and Peg upset with himself, but looks like that ball is still in.
Oof.
A good move. Cross. Too far there for Matthew Kennedy.
Oh, very slick skill there from Whitaker, and also great tenacity to reposition himself, get that ball back, and put in a dangerous cross.
Bayless is on the move now.
Bale's been very impressive today with his composure. Definitely the one player in the pitch for New Canaan. Seems like they can anchor the center of the field and distribute that ball. New Canaan really, really desperately need more of that. And he's got the opportunity to cross. Offside, though.
Just a little offside. Jonathan, you of course played under Coach Bradley. Do you have any favorite memories from your time at DHS under Coach Bradley?
Oh, on any favorite memories? I mean, don't know, so many. I would say the one, we all really remember is that I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast in our first game of the season, we lost to West Hill 7-1. And this was a team, the year before with a different coach, we'd gone 3-10, 3-11. We weren't expecting much of ourselves. Bradley pushed us, to a different level, and we actually ended up playing West Hill, that same West Hill team, in the quarterfinals of the FCAC playoffs. It was the first time Darien had been to the FCAC playoffs in quite a long time, and ended up winning on a fantastic, coolly taken penalty by senior captain Eric Gannigan, who is watching this broadcast right now. It all comes full circle. But I remember that goal, Darien's first playoff win in God knows how many years it was, and he deservedly won Coach of the Year that year. I think we all have a picture of that penalty hanging up in our room. We will never forget it, and I certainly know John won't either.
That's great. Darien trying to push that ball on that right sideline. Knocked out by I believe number 24, Jack Fannin. Number 6, James Galvin, is checked in for the Wave here. Fox will take a kick here.
And his services have been excellent all day. I mean, speak a lot about his defensive prowess, Fox, but he's causing a lot of trouble for New Canaan from these set pieces specifically. A lot of height for Darien in the box as well. And this is exactly what Darien want. Keep it in the New Canaan half. Keep creating opportunities.
Another good service right over the head of Galvin, but Whitaker's able to get there. And offsides by Caruso.
And that's well played by New Canaan. That's the distribution out of the back that they need. They've been looking for not the end product that they wanted, but New Canaan had been having trouble getting the ball up the pitch via the aerial route. Darien bigger, a bit faster and stronger, but when they play the ball on the ground like that, from back to front, things look good for New Canaan. They just need more of that, but the clock is ticking down, 20 minutes left. Not much time to do it in and get a goal.
As you just mentioned, we are 3/4 of the way through this game as Darien's in the offensive zone. Looks like Petey on that far sideline. New Canaan able to play some good defense and get the ball away from him. Score is 2-1 here with about 18:23 as the Rams are looking for the equalizer. And a good defensive play there from Ethan Fox, senior captain.
Well, definitely, but a very concerning moment for Darien there. I think one thing to note is that Bertoletti of New Canaan, number 14, way too much space in the middle. John Bradley will not be happy with that. The midfielders and the defenders need to close that off. He was able to slip a through ball in with absolute ease. And Darien will not want to see that much space for any player in a red shirt again this game.
Henry Lindbergh tried to take a shot there, but a good defensive play by Fox. But as you mentioned, there was just too much space, and I'm sure Bradley is upset about that one. So Darien will get another corner kick here. Petey again taking the corner kick to his 5th or 6th of the game. And he's been doing very well putting it into the box. And some good defense there by the Rams. Able to get it out of that box and close to midfield. Roderick was able to get that ball away from harm's way. Galvin takes it away from Norton. Big body of Galvin.
Well, no surprise. More physicality, more height for Darien up front. And I think putting him up front, it's not just an offensive move, but it's a defensive one as well, in the sense that you're trying to get someone up there who's going to bother New Canaan's defense as they try and distribute from the back. Certainly good substitution there by Bradley, but also seems to be quite helpful on set pieces. Biggest man in the pitch there. Be watching out for him.
Fox will take another one.
Well, these are dangerous balls. These are very dangerous balls. And New Canaan not only are having trouble defending them, but they're having trouble getting the ball back up the pitch after they come.
It was a pretty well-placed ball there by Fox, just right to a New Canaan defender. But as you mentioned, he had a tough time getting it out of there, as Caruso will send that careening down the field.
And certainly Darien could calm down a little bit. I think Caruso had quite a lot of space there, and they've been, in run and gun mode, get it up the field to the physical forwards. But New Canaan, as the game, I guess the game ticks on and the players get tired, I think both teams are going to see they're going to have a bit more space in the ball. And the question is who's going to be more composed, who's going to make that key pass, who's going to keep the ball. But right now, as played, it seems like Darien has all the answers to New Canaan's attacks.
Another throw in here for New Canaan. As we take a look here, as Fox, just a good slide tackle on Lindbergh to save what could have been the equalizer.
Yeah, and we saw Lindbergh's shot in the first half. That is not a guy you want striking at your goal, so an absolutely critical tackle there by Fox.
An easy save there for Lehan.
Well, I know you said Lehan wanted to get some reps in, but he hasn't had much to do this half, I have to say. Excellent defense from Darien, making life very easy for the goalkeeper.
Bronca. Oh, good tackle there from Michael Norton.
Fantastic last-ditch effort.
We've seen that as we take a look here. Norton just able to get that foot out and tap it away from Bronca. Someone New Canaan definitely does not want the ball close to the goal. And another good corner kick, just the opposite way there for Darien.
Well, great pressure again.
And Lau put it right into Walter.
That's excellent distribution again from Bayless, and I mean, that's the player you want on the ball if you're New Canaan. Seems to be the one capable of slipping in those through balls, and New Canaan don't seem to have another way forward.
Lehan will take another goal kick here.
Well, you certainly love to see that as well. It's really important at this stage of the game to have a goalkeeper with good distribution and center half. Seems like Fox has excellent distribution, but it's a game of position at this point. You want that ball in the New Canaan third. Darien doing everything they can to keep it there and see this game out. And certainly I'd expect them to see this game out in, I guess, a pretty offensive way, keep New Canaan caged in their own half. But right now they've done so well. 30 minutes into the second half, and I don't think we've seen a shot on goal to test Leon.
Well, I'm sure Darien is glad to have two very good goalies, because Lehan last year, he was part of a key win for the Blue Wave over Fairfield Prep to send them into the CIAC tournament, and it went into shootout. Went into penalty kicks, and Lehan was able to get some of his hands on some saves and get him in.
Oh, heroes are made. Most nerve-wracking thing, though. Tell you what, this looks like a Darien team, though, that can win a few cup games without penalty shootouts. So it seems like they have the plan together, and so early in the season, as we're talking about, not without much practice, without much preparation, they've done so well. I guess with so little, and so certainly, as the season goes forward, I'll be watching carefully. Because this looks like a team that can make some deep runs. Very difficult to unlock, and a lot of potential for goal scoring up front.
That was one of the big things this season. How are teams going to play, and how is their preparation shown in games? And we've seen that Darien, even though they haven't had a ton of preparation, a ton of scrimmaging, they've been able to play very well in these first 2 games. And no shot at New Canaan, they've been playing very well as they push it forward. And just over the crossbar.
Well, probably New Canaan's one of their best chances of the half, and certainly, you know, it's tough to demand those moments of individual brilliance outside of the box from your players, but at this point, you know, it looks like one of New Canaan's only few ways of scoring. And yeah, certainly, you know, it's you know, game of fine margins. You know, this game's 2-1, the last one was 1-0. But you know, the difference between 1-0 and winning and losing is that little bit of focus, that little bit of preparation. And so, you know, all the credit in the world to Darien players for, you know, for making the most of what they had of their preseason.
That was Doyle Catlin on that last shot from on the feed from Henry Lindbergh.
Well, definitely gonna be a tense last 10 minutes, Ted. But you know, I think Bradley really would not want Darien to sit back. I think they're gonna get to clear the ball up to the New Canaan third and then keep pressing, because New Canaan are struggling to distribute it out of the back. But right now, you know, whenever that ball is in this half of the field right now, the people in the blue shirts have to be a bit scared. This is not what you want to see. You don't want to see New Canaan have it this far up the pitch, have set pieces. Anything can happen when the ball's in this area.
Fox on that clearance hit a car window. Looks to be fine. As New Canaan will take a corner. And it went off his shoulder. That was Bertolotti. And from our angle, I know I could definitely see it went off his shoulder.
Yeah, took a rough bounce to go off his hand there, but far too much space in the box. You saw Bertolotti alone there, unmarked, and, you know, dangerous corner in. And I think Darien, as I said, they just can't allow those opportunities to happen. You know, it's those kind of ones. They they look funny just then, but it can easily be a goal if the ball bounces a bit differently.
I believe that was New Canaan's first or second corner kick of the entire match.
Yeah, definitely not enough from them on that front. It just goes to show they're not getting the ball to pitch enough. You know, corners come when you have the ball in the opposition third, and Darien have been doing well to keep New Canaan pinned. This is an excellent run right here. And Whitaker showing a lot of versatility. He's pressed very well in the middle, but also he plays very well out wide, winning those 1v1 battles against the wing backs and getting crosses in.
I'm sure the lack of corner kicks is something that head coach Luke Green for the Rams is definitely going to take a look at.
And this is dangerous right here.
Good move there to get away from Lau. Bayless has been crafty with it all game long.
Absolutely. He's got brilliant technique on the ball, very good distribution and dribbling, and I think that is the last player Darien want to have space. You can see John Bradley standing up from his chair. He did not like what he just saw there.
I'm surprised we didn't pick him up on the mics. We could hear him all the way across the field as Lehan will fall down on that.
And as a John Bradley player, and especially I played out in the wing, I can attest that if you're on the other side of the pitch, it doesn't matter. You can hear his instructions loud and clear.
And Caruso able to get that away, and Walter took it up to midfield.
Well, Walter's doing well to create some sense of urgency for his team. He knows they need to get the ball up the pitch. And we can hear the New Canaan fans and parents not very happy with that one. Certainly, though, Darien needs to just get this ball out of their own third. Not allow the ball up the wings, not allow crosses in.
Lau will take the throw in for Darien. Tried to get it to Bronca, but a New Canaan defender right there.
And that's great composure.
Catlin tried to feed it in there. He's been able to get some balls through, right to Lehan.
Wow, it's a great pickup by Lehan. Strong hands, but certainly New Canaan, you know, Catlin, Bayless, these two in the midfield, they're showing excellent composure, spreading the ball out now. New Canaan coming into their own, maybe a bit too late in this game, only 6 minutes and change left.
Darien in the box, peg right to Walter.
Well, Darien have to close that space down the middle. We were talking earlier in the game how well Whitaker and Petey were doing pressing in the midfield. They're going to need to get back to that because too much space right now for the danger men of New Canaan.
About 6 minutes remaining. Darien trying to keep a 1-goal lead. Meanwhile, New Canaan is looking for some momentum to get the equalizer, as they would rather not fall to 0-2 on the season.
Well, it's excellent defending by Roderick there. Great closing down and not conceding a corner as well. You don't want to concede set pieces at this point in the game. Darien definitely doing very well on the defensive end. Not a lot of great chances for New Canaan, but they have to keep closing the spaces, and it's been 75 minutes of soccer. It's very hard to keep running. But I'm sure John Bradley will demand 5 more minutes of them closing down this space, trying to get the ball in the New Canaan end.
We were just able to see a great replay of that last Lehan save brought to you by the Burke boys, as Lehan will get that one as he's run into.
Well, it's not a Darien New Canaan game without a couple of rough fouls here and there. But certainly great hands by Lehan, great composure under pressure throughout the half, and also excellent distribution, as I was saying earlier. You certainly want a goalkeeper who can get the ball up the pitch in this type of game.
Lehan has been tested here late in this second half, and so far he's been answering the call as a trip, I believe, was called there. That was peg on Catlin, and Catlin will take a free kick here.
Nice to see the urgency. It's a half-field free kick, but New Canaan piling everyone except one man into this box. Service not good enough there, though.
And Roderick doing a great job getting that ball back to midfield, where New Canaan will reset. Lindbergh tried to get it across, just a little low, but it's still in that that Darien zone.
Well, Darien not doing well enough with the clearances right now. This ball's not going out of their half.
And that'll be a Darien throw, and I'm sure they're glad to get it out of that box area.
Yeah, absolutely. They want to kill some time, but certainly not good enough clearances there. 4 or 5 opportunities to get that ball out of their own half, and they failed. And if it keeps going this way, it's going to be a tense 3 minutes. But you do love to see it in Lehan's hands. Great distribution from this goalkeeper. Someone who can get it up the pitch, keep it in the New Canaan half. Very, very valuable asset.
Lehan got it all the way down the field. And I believe it'll be a wave throw-in. I believe it went just outside that flag down there.
Well, no better way to kill a ticking clock than to get it in the opposing corner. Certainly expect Darien to take their time. And the key thing here is Darien in these last 2 minutes, the ball is in the New Canaan third. Can they close down the players and not allow New Canaan to distribute it back into the Darien half?
And New Canaan ball. as Bronco was trapped in that corner trying to kill time.
And there's the closing down we talked about.
Walter quick to get up as he knows that time is of the essence with 2 minutes remaining here in the match. New Canaan needs a goal. And Darien just trying to hang on. Lindbergh pushes it up. Handball off of Fox, and that's just a tough bounce.
Yeah, absolutely. 90 seconds left in the game, and it looks like a free kick that could well be, yeah, it's going to be a shot on target. And we saw Lindbergh earlier score. We saw Bayless take a great free kick off the post, and New Canaan have a lot of options from this distance.
And let's see.
And it looks like it's going to be Catlin and Catlin alone, the captain, taking this one.
A minute remaining here. And Catlin looks to tie it up. Here it is. And a great save there by Lehan. Although the Wave aren't out of danger yet, it'll be a corner with 43 seconds remaining. And another New Canaan corner. It is coming down to the wire here, as the goalkeeper, Walter, is up there as well, an extra man on the attack. Known for using his hands, not his feet, as a good save there by Leanne.
And that is so difficult to catch that ball. It's hard enough to save it, even harder to keep that ball firmly in your grasp. And I think Darien owed the last 2 minutes of this game to Lehan, and Lehan alone. Excellent goalkeeping under a lot of pressure.
And that'll do it for this boys soccer game. New Canaan falls to 0-2. Darien will go up to 2-0 with a 2-1 win here over the New Canaan Rams. Billy Bronca scoring once for the Wave, and Bobby Whitaker also scoring for the Wave. And then on the opposite side, that was Henry Lindbergh on a beautiful shot for the Rams. And Jonathan, what did you see from these two teams?
Well, I would say, first of all, both of them played their heart out. Definitely worthy of the occasion, the rivalry match. I think New Canaan, a lot of individual brilliance, a lot of good passing. Just came a bit short in the day. And as for Darien, I mean, you know, been 7-8 years since I last played in this field myself, and you know, I come back and a John Bradley team, still a John Bradley team. They find a way to win, and I think Darien owe it. You know, everyone on the pitch, the defenders, the midfielders, the forwards, were all pressing, hustling, a lot of tenacity, and I would say that, you know, this is just another classic Darien win. I mean, they came out strong, came out in the right foot, got the early goal, which was very important. But more importantly, they kept the pressure up the entire game. They kept the physicality up the entire game. And, you know, when New Canaan equalized, things looked a bit difficult for them. New Canaan looked like they had the upper hand, but this looks like a team that can bounce back and win games, you know. And I think that's the key, especially in a league like the FCAC, to win these games by fine margins. You know, it's not just 3 points on the board. It shows that, you know, when you go deep in cup ties, things like that, you're going to be able to get those crucial small margin victories. So a lot of heart shown by all the kids at Darien, especially in light of, you know, as we talked about, all the difficulties preparing for the season. So, you know, I come back and I'm still really proud of how this team plays.
Just a great all-around game from both teams. Darien accomplished their mission of locking down and getting the win here. So I'm going to give one more shout out to our production crew. Eric Bellingham, main camera, George Martin, our ISO camera, doing great jobs of bringing you all the angles. Braden Shank directing, Nolan Burke, instant replay, Matt Burke, graphics, Damian Andrew, our advisor, Jonathan Gill, my color commentator for today. Jonathan, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Ted. It was an honor.
Once again, I'm Ted Brennan, signing off for the DAF Media Network. We'll see you next time.